540?
Depends on the social network. Actually, the fastest growing group on Facebook is now, I think, between 35 and 50. And I think it's between, I think Twitter, it's 25 and 40. But again, just because your target may not be there yet doesn't mean that they won't be. And like literally, it changed overnight. It changed completely overnight. Okay, what your plan may have been in the beginning of the year last year. You maybe not have had Twitter in there. As soon as Oprah went on Twitter, I guarantee you changed that plan overnight, and you put it on so that you got onto Twitter as well. It changed in 3 months. The landscape of it changed completely. They're expecting budgets for social media to go up by 32% per year for the next 5 years.
Yeah, because where I'm coming from, actually you're hitting the nail on target, because where I'm coming from is, if I look at the kind of products that we are marketing as of now, what the examples that I see are basically targeting the youth population. So if I'm selling something which is like more targeted towards the elderly population, something like some Serenity products in healthcare, so probably I would not see it as the best media as of today.
Again, it depends, because it's a growing market. It's a growing market, and the thing is that the sooner you get in there, and maybe you don't allocate all of your time to it. Maybe you just do a small bit. Maybe you say, okay, we're going to watch this space and put this much effort into this space for right now, but we're going to target the early adapters in this space, and we're going to target the people who seem to have a lot of influence. Okay, because even if you don't, elderly. You may not have a lot of elderly readers on one social network, but you could have a blogger who writes about things that a lot of elderly people read. So then what you could do in that case, you end up getting to know the blogger and engaging with the blogger. So it's maybe then you don't go out for the entire network, maybe then you just go after the people of influence. It depends on the product, which depends on the mix. I can't give you the answer for every single solitary one, but if you come to me later, I can give you a couple of brainstorming ideas.
So that would mean a potential, work would be if a person right now, we know that the elderly market on the internet, it's a growing market. If a person knows that right now, he starts engaging, trying to find elderly people on the net, getting data from them, interacting with them, and then in the future, when a company is looking for a particular segment, they will come to this blogger and get his insights. Yeah. So he can then sell off that information. And then,
that's a consulting opportunity. Yeah.
Examples are there and Lenovo on Twitter. What I was wondering was, there are a lot of people following them. So what is the point of their account being, they following somebody else? What is the put out? When you have 1.5 million followers but 25 following.
Right.
So what is...
I actually disagree with the fact that they only follow 25. But I can understand why they do it. The odds are the ones that they follow have more to do with the company and have nothing to do with the outside. They're probably not looking like Ford to create a total community as much as they are to help the community. So they're doing it a lot more like a customer relationship tool than necessarily a community tool. See what I'm saying? So when you message them, they'll answer you back. They'll answer back to everyone. I mean, it's on. What do you mean? Oh, that's the yes. Okay. Sorry, forgot cultural difference. So they'll answer you back, but they won't. But that doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to sit there and have a search for Ford, or like Ford will have a search for Ford. And if somebody, and LL Bean's a great example. LL Bean doesn't necessarily follow you back, but they have a search for LL Bean. And if somebody writes a nice tweet or comment about LL Bean, they'll retweet it, they'll recomment, it'll go back out into the stream. So that content is pushed out again, and more people know that the pleasant comment was made in the first place, thus building the brand and the place of the mind share and everything else that goes along with it. But I lost my... Did I answer your question?
Yes. No, I was basically trying to understand it's a good thing for the company to follow somebody. Or it's a good thing for a company like Lenovo to follow other...
To follow competitors?
Not competitors. seeing other bloggers or other tweeters.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I think it shows that you are looking to build a community, and I think that it shows that you're very open to feedback. Yeah.
I also feel that it makes a lot of sense to follow a very small percentage of those people that we see over here. If these people, through the conversations that they've posted, can be looked as corporate users. So
Yeah.
for example, I'm
high
representing
influencers.
a company,
Right.
and I'm posting comments which look like, I'm analyzing something as a product for my company.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense to follow a person like me.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then you also, but I can understand once you have 1,500,000, you don't want to follow the 1,500,000 back. You can't. It's too much noise into your stream. You can't handle it. If you're going to be reading it every day, you also have to think to the fact that somebody's actually going through all this information and reading it. If you're following them, you should be reading what they're saying. That's the assumption behind it. That's the point of following. You don't just follow to follow. So, there's a responsibility that goes with following.
I was looking at it in a way that when you give so much control to the consumer, it can have an adverse effect also. Negative branding, like comments, negative comments.
Why the negative comments aren't happening anymore? That's the point. They are. If you don't respond to the comments, they go
But
up.
then content management is a very big overhead for the company. They'll have to manage the content so that the negative comment doesn't snowball into something big.
They have to. Have you ever seen United Breaks the Trust? Okay, YouTube video story. United. This is a musician, and he flew United, and he watched as United took his guitar, threw it in, and broke it. He went to United, and he said, "Please buy me a new guitar. Replace my guitar. You guys broke it on the flight. Okay, I now have a broken guitar." And they gave him the runaround. Really, really big way. So what did he do? He created a video that went viral like you can't imagine. United Breaks Guitars. And now whenever I think of United, I think United Breaks Guitars. I don't want to go on United. They're going to destroy my luggage. I'm going to go find somebody else. The conversation is happening whether you like it or not. So you have to engage with the customer. Because if you don't, they're going to feel ignored. They're going to spend their money somewhere else. It's a choice. I'm not spending my money with you because you're the only person out there. I'm spending my money with you because you have the product that I want and you treat me as I want to be treated. And there's always the option to not spend money in the first place. So unless you're a complete monopoly and nobody has any alternative and no other alternative will ever exist, because believe me, as soon as the alternative does exist, they're going to leave you. If that's the situation that you want to be in, then you ignore the customer. But otherwise, you have to have the customer relationship management tool. You have to take advantage of, you have to engage. And you don't have the choice. The conversations are going on regardless. So the question is, what do you do about it? Not do you. So, yeah.
What are the regulatory restrictions in place? Suppose I want to post a video, just the example that you gave. I'm not happy with the customer service of and that happens to most of us.
Right.
To any product. And somebody just puts up a video stating that he or she is not happy with the customer service.
If it's a personal, I don't know the whole regulatory situation of everything, but in most times it's not even an issue. This is a customer. This happened to them. They're relating a true story. They're not doing slander. They're not doing it they're not benefiting in any way by voicing their frustration, okay, in a vocal and very, widespread manner. So it's like the news. You're allowed to do it. If you're another company spreading lies about a first company, then you got a problem. That's not what you should be doing. And quite frankly, if that's what you have to do in order to get business, you've got an even bigger problem. So there's some common sense with it as well.
But does regulatory restrictions change for countries?
That I don't know. I'm assuming, I'm going to assume that in China you can't do the same things you can do in America. So, yeah.
I think you mentioned about the guitar, and recently a musician
he broke his sitar, yeah. Sitar is a classical.
Yeah, I know what a sitar is.
And Air India, which is the
Okay.
airline,